I'm not perfect, God, neither are you. Tell these salty motherfuckers to tell the truth. Tell politicians to give up the rooms. Tell silent voters to stand up to the booth.
God, it's me. Can you hear my plea? Feeling like I'm lost in this world, can't you see? Demons creeping in, trying to take control of me. But I'm just trying to find the light, trying to break free. I'm not perfect, God, neither are you. But why you keep forgetting me? What did I do? Trying to have a convo, but you starting to preach. Feeling like I'm on a leash. Can't find no peace, find no peace. Living in hell, can't you hear my plea? I'm suffocating, can't you see? Why you let these false prophets roam free? While the well-run suffer, can't you see? I'm not perfect, God, neither are you. Why you keep targeting me? What did I do? Trying to have a convo, but you starting to preach. Feel like I'm on a leash, can't find no peace.
Hardest battles, strongest soldiers, greatest burden, broadest shoulders, pushing up just like these boulders. See conflict like it's water, so this mercy, take my chalice, seeking grace through all this malice. All of these salty motherfuckers could give up.
Politics and sinners, they all the same. Got me stuck in this endless game. But I won't give up, won't play the role. Gotta do what's best
for my soul.
I'm not perfect, God. Neither are you. Tell these salty motherfuckers to tell the truth. Tell these politicians to give up the room. Tell silent voters to stand up to the move. Living wild but truthfully free. God keep on watching over me. Take my pleas and keep the receipts. I just want all of humanity to be free. And clean the seas and stop the greed.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. So this morning I'm talking about rights, wrongs, and real talk. Minnesota's Crossroads, because there is one, right? And a lot of people don't understand. So and I don't know if that's, yeah, I do not understand, but I do understand. And I'm gonna try to get people to understand more that this is by design. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of this is on purpose, and then they only add amendments so that it's harder to correct the wrongs that have been done, the injustices that have been done to people. I'll just say people all through history, right? So with that being said, I'm gonna get into Rashad Lee, Nothing to Lose. And with that, I'll be right back right after this.
Woo! 2025 shit. I'ma keep it a buck when I say I ain't playing. I'm here for a reason, been mine for the taking. I kept my composure, the hunger I'm craving. I fought all my demons, this shit feel amazing. Why would I care if they want me to stop? I don't know, nigga, it's better you not. Either you been with me or you dead against me, but ain't nobody taking my spot. Nobody be tripping, you really gon' do it? I don't know, lately I've been going through it. Mine been on racing, they testing my patience. I learned to embrace it, but fuck how they moving. Focused on me, give a damn what they doing. Rap shit been easy, I'm steady improving. They try to judge me, I question the ruling. Why hate on a nigga, you been in pursuit, and this shit be confusing. Second guessing, sadly I'm guilty, but learn my lesson. Pain pills, did the shit for thrills, and even at my worst, did nobody test me. At my bottom, ain't nobody bless me. Couple problems, but they won't address me. Rumor has it, I be having my way, they behaving different, but it don't impress me. I've been feeling like fuck everybody, I'm bugging. Hate that I feel like I do this for nothing. Can't trust my niggas, I feel like they frontin'. Back on the wall, got me swinging and punching. I'm making a way, they ain't giving me nothing. So fuck it, my nigga, let's do what it do. I'ma be patient, my nigga, it's different than waiting. My nigga, it's all in the view. Nobody solid, it's only a few. Who to trust? Nigga lame as fuck. Really double cross me, wanna give him the pew. Situations got me thinking different. There's some shit that maybe I should probably improve. Imitators try to copy my moves. Instigators trying to fuck up my groove. My foot on the gas, I got nothing to lose. So this what it do when I say I ain't playing. I'm here for a reason, been mine for the taking. I kept my composure, the hunger I'm craving. I fought all my demons, this shit feel amazing. Why would I care if they want me to stop? I don't know, nigga, it's better you not. Either Either you been with me or you dead against me, but ain't nobody taking my spot. Nobody be tripping, you really gon' do it? I don't know, lately I've been going through it. Mine been on racing, they testing my patience. I learned to embrace it, but fuck how they moving. Focused on me, give a damn what they doing. Rap shit be easy, I'm steady improving. They try to judge me, I question the ruling. Why hate on a nigga you been in pursuit? And this shit be confusing. Demolition, parting ties, I made a big decision. Felt the pressure, had to seek revision. I was in my bag, but still a piece was missing. Hustle hard, I'm trying to see provisions. At my brink, I told them keep their distance. Truth be told, I'm in a peak position. Learn to use my voice, and when I speak, they listen. Can't believe what the hell am I seeing? They rewarding the fake, am I dreaming? Maybe I've been mistaken the meaning. Had to switch up the root, nigga scheming. Had to clear out my closet, I'm cleaning. While rappers be shit like a pile, they steaming. I don't know, nigga, give us a reason. Capping should be a matter of treason. And these suckers ain't never in season. If I can't be real, what's the point of me breathing? I don't love it, no point in me bleeding. I don't need them, no point in me pleading. Speculation, no point in me feeding. I'm speaking no facts and I leave it at that. People judge, I ain't feeling attacked, so they talk out of turn and I give them my back. Ain't no reason to cap. Matter of fact, when I say I ain't playing, I'm here for a reason. Been mine for the taking. I kept my composure, the hunger I'm craving. I fought all my demons, this shit feel amazing. Why would I care if they want me to stop? I don't know, nigga, it's better you not. Either you been with me or you dead against me, but ain't nobody taking my spot. Nobody be tripping, you really gon' do it? I don't know, lately I've been going through it. Mine been on racing, they testing my patience. I learned to embrace it, but fuck how they moving. Focused on me, give a damn what they doing. Rap shit be easy, I'm steady improving. They try to judge me, I question the ruling. Why hate on a nigga you been in pursuit? And this shit be confusing.
Hey, Rashad Lee, nothing to lose. Hey, you know, that's the crazy thing about, you know, music, and I understand it more, is like people gather towards things that they can feel, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I understand it. You know, people be like, well, you don't got no millions of views, you ain't got no crowd. I said, my viewers, I do have viewers though, just because here's the crazy thing, like so if you go to, like, I haven't put any episodes up for like over a year, but like the old episodes of the Urban Conservative, when I first started, like me, Marcus, and John Tell, and there's a lot of shit, because me and Robert, we talked about Minneapolis, we talked about, there's a lot of things, and then it's just leading up to today, you know what I'm saying? Because people weren't paying attention. We were talking about fraud and waste years ago. While everybody's just talking about it now because it's, you know, it's in mainstream media, we were talking about it. This is not new to us. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I make sure people like Marcus and certain people, you know, in North Minneapolis, make sure that they know history. And I put it in their brain. You know what I'm saying? Like, I instill that shit, because I feel like you reach one, you teach one. You don't leave nobody behind. This, like most of North Minneapolis does. They don't inform people. So that's why, like, especially when it came to, you know, the conversations that I had with Jewel, because not knowing that there was AI. And now I'm understanding, you know, why it's so hard to get truth and transparency is because you tell too much truth, it affects too many people. And it affects the people that are out telling that story, right? Because if you break that narrative, then you get to the truth. And then that's when the dominoes shake. You know what I'm saying? And if I can get enough people to worry about, you know, and I understand it, because this is my thing to you, right? If we unified and called out the bad actors, because just because you're doing good doesn't mean that you're good. And that's why Minneapolis isn't getting anywhere, because we have way too many community leaders that have skeletons in their closets. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, you know, I sit here and I think about this. You know, I look at the, you know, sometimes the people have reached out to me and they're like, damn, I remember this. You know, when I'm talking about something from like Johnny Northside, or, you know, I'm going back through the blogs, and there's a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? There's a few. I shouldn't say a lot, but there's a few, because some of them are deactivated. Some of them don't work anymore. And it's frustrating. You know what I'm saying? But then when you see stories about, especially people in the news, you know, a lot of people didn't know that Big U was here in the 80s and 90s. who was rolling 60s Crip, you know, Sharif, there's and Jerry and you know, that's the one crazy thing. We look at people as pastors and reverends and, you know, police officers, but yet nobody questions. You know, you're given a story and you believe it. That's what happens. You're given a story, a narrative, and you believe it, because you have more people ganging up about a narrative, and then they go away when the truth comes out. Right? They go in a corner and they're like, hey man, you got to do this on your own, bro, because you can't fight the truth. You can throw anything that you want at it. Right? It's like throwing a wet noodle at the wall. You hoping that thing sticks. But with the truth, you just stand there because you know that it's the truth. You know that it's factual. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we can't get mad at individuals because of, you know, and you're so right, Ben. A lot of them are pastors, professionals, politicians, and government officers. And we see that because this is the one thing that I will say over this weekend, I read a lot about CVLs, you know, conservative vice lords. I read a lot about the 80s and 90s in Minneapolis when it came to some of the biggest gang leaders in the world. You know, Minneapolis was a melting pot. It was because you had people from California, LA, Detroit, Chicago, New York, and then not only just the gangs, you had the mafia. So you had both sides of it, and then you had law enforcement. So law enforcement understood that they couldn't fight all of that, right? Plus the everyday crime that was going on in Minneapolis. So what do? If you can't beat them, join. I'm going to say that again. If you can't beat them, join. So that's what we see. We see a cycle of we can't beat them, so we're going to join them. And there's stories. There's stories. It's not that what's crazy is there's court transcripts, there's lawsuits, there's civil, you know, personal injury. There's a lot of information that's not looked at. And then the crazy thing of it is you see a lot of the same names today. The only thing different changed is their title, what they called them. Some of them might have been leaders of gangs. You know what I'm saying? Now they're leaders of CEOs and directors of nonprofits. Like, wait, when did this dude change? When? Did he throw enough bodies, railroaded enough people to change? You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's crazy as fuck to me. I want to show y'all something, and then I want to get into, because the fraud committee is meeting this morning. And that's what's wild to me, is that you have committees going, and to be honest, people aren't really paying attention. You know what I'm saying? Even though it affects them, even in the long run, you know what I'm saying? It might not affect you today. It might not affect you tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? It affects you today. You know what I'm saying? And it's been leading up to this. It's been years and years of Minneapolis leading up to this. You know, and one of the big things is, if not us, then who? You know what I'm saying? So y'all got to get into that. I shared a post 12 hours ago, right? And I said, when cops, I'm going to see what y'all can see. Hold on. No, make it bigger. Right. So I want to talk about this a little bit, right? So when cops, gangs, and power collide, are we watching the same script again? We see how a young black man could be railroaded for murder, treated like a suspect when it looked more like an execution. And we had the peace summit years where gang leaders and Minneapolis police worked together. That's not rumor. It's on record. People like Ron Edwards even warned us. Cops helped bad guys threaten good citizens. Now we're here in the so-called truth and transparency era. And it's starting to feel a lot like the 80s, the 90s, and even the 2000s. It's the same headlines, the same tactics. And I'm going to tell you what, the same silence. But what a lot of people don't want to talk about is this. The Rockefeller Foundation gave $15,000 to help the Vice Lords. One of Chicago's most notorious gangs set a legit front. Yes, the Rockefeller family, the same family that through the General Education Board helped shape U.S. education, a system that produces workers, not thinkers. So what are we witnessing today? Just another version of the same old game? Malcolm X said, education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. But if history is buried, how do we prepare? Because I want to talk about it. That's what's crazy, because if you don't talk about the past, right? If you're not talking about what happened, because there's a lot of things that they tried to do. If you don't go through the Minneapolis Story blog, there's a lot of stories up there on discrimination in the fire department and bias, police, city government, and we still do the same fucking thing. That's what's wild. We do the same thing. It's no different. Only thing that's changed is it's not 1990, it's 2025, or it's not 1992. Because honestly, I feel like we're in the Jerry half. You look at Williams, Jamal. How can we not compare that? How can people not look at that and compare those two crimes, right? Two officers dying. Because there's weird stories. I'm going to be honest. They don't make sense. And everybody's got questions, because I will tell you this, and it's something that I've asked over and over, and I get no answer. You know what I'm saying? But when that call first came out, there was two shooters. They only got one. And he died. But they never talk about the other guy, because there was witnesses on the scene when Jamal passed away. There was two shooters that ran out of the building. Only one was able to come up on Jamal. And he acted like he was dead or injured, or I don't, whatever, but it was more of a setup, ambush, whatever they want to call it. Because I remember even before Jamal, they were trying to do that with the ambush. They called that an ambush. Minneapolis police said it was an ambush. But see, there's people in our community that just because they don't talk, they have conversations with their kids because they talk about the jump out boys, or they talk about situations where cars come up and lights all out. You run. You don't ask questions, right? And that's one thing that comes a part of our community is ask not. I'm gonna be honest. Do what you need to do to save your life and ask questions later, right? It's a survival tactic. No matter if we want to talk about it or not, it's survival. Right. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I wanted to pinpoint this morning, right? So I think I played these two last Monday too. I don't think I even did nothing Monday, but Rorick and Anderson, they had some pretty good questions, I felt like, today in committee, and things that needed to be answered, right? Because to me, I feel like I don't even know if we're going to honestly get answers when it comes to this fraud and waste stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because you literally got to make people do the right thing. You're not going to expect people to do the right thing voluntarily, right? You're not going to expect somebody to go in there and be like, yep, I did that. Oh yeah, I'm a federal informant. I done railroaded so many black kids in North Minneapolis to get where I'm at today. Y'all gonna believe that? You know what I'm saying? Are you gonna look? You gotta force people. That's the one thing, because I will tell you like this: we've seen police officers get up there and lie under oath with their hand on the Bible. So how's that the truth? When it's so easily to lie, and it's so easily to lie. That's what I don't understand. So with that being said, man, I'm gonna get into this fraud committee. Here goes Patty Anderson, Rorick, and you see everybody in there. Hey, man. Lively crowd, though, I will say that.
So are you looking at more, you talked about managing identities, and I understand that, you know, fake names, like Feeding Our Future and others. Are you looking at, is that the main focus of this, so that you're actually looking at, do these people exist that are getting services, or are they eligible in the case of some of the Medicaid, for example? Is that the main focus of this, or are you also looking at individual programs or billers, payees, I guess, that are all of a sudden their numbers have jumped through the roof?
Commissioner?
Madam Chair, Representative, thank you for that question. It's really a holistic approach. This particular aspect of it is really focused on the artificial intelligence and the machine learning capabilities to make sure that there are robust vendor market-based capabilities that analyze both good transactions as well as bad transactions to flag anomalies and make sure that those things that are flagged have appropriate follow-up. I think a robust fraud prevention and detection mechanism, though, requires really a holistic approach. And in the last legislative session, there was an investment made related to just the identity verification as people sign up. We want to get as preemptive and as far upstream as possible to proactively make sure that people are signing up are the people that should be signing up and that identities are verified to the full extent, but that also the ability to flag transactions as they're occurring in real time for follow-up and to really put a risk profile next to the types of transactions that, you know, not just permeate the Medicaid system, but really state programs in general as other organizations, both nationally and internationally, are doing.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Representative Rarick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have two questions, one for Commissioner Gandhi and one for Commissioner Thomas. So Commissioner Gandhi, you had said that you've had 18 million per year recovered, and I'm wondering what is the total of your annual budget, including
Watch this,
federal?
25 billion.
That would change year over year. Right now, this year, our budget is about 25 billion.
Thank you. And I have a question for,
Commissioner Rarick, Representative Rarick.
thank you. And then Commissioner Thomas. And so I'm really having a hard time understanding how you're going to interface with computer programs that were built in the late 80s and early 90s that are still green screen, F-key, and they have the wheel of death every single day for people that use them. How do you possibly interface with all of that ancient technology with AI? I don't understand how the two, I mean, why can't we just fix these ancient technologies that we built back in the 80s and 90s, and shouldn't that be the square one? I don't understand how this works.
Commissioner.
Madam Chair, Representative, thank you for that question. I think there's a lot, you know, to unpack in that question. Maybe I'll start on the tail end and work my way forward towards the data side. I think modernization of legacy systems that include, you know, what we refer to in our space as significant tech debt, but really, you know, that more follows, you know, significant debt as it relates to just service, you know, provider capabilities in general, is a extreme priority of ours and has been over the last 5 to 6 years. We've been able to modernize the driver and vehicle system completely, modernization of the system that runs, the main systems that run the Department of Corrections, huge scale modernizations at DEED. And so modernizing these large systems, you know, is continuing as a part of the governor's current budget proposal is modernization of the child welfare system. One of the elements that really has a huge impact on counties as it relates to this tech debt laden system that we refer to internally and counties understand under the name of SSIS, which, you know, is hugely problematic. We're incredibly hopeful that as a part of this legislative session, we're able to move forward that child welfare modernization, not for the sake of modernizing technology, but for the sake of serving children better as it relates to these technologies. There is a huge distinction, though, as it relates to older systems, tech, and data. The capability to still get at transactions exists no matter how old the technology is. Our ability from a technology perspective in today's technology marketplace to interface with those systems to analyze transactions is not a barrier. The barrier comes in how those systems serve people and both our employees within the state and how they serve people that are interacting with them. You know, that's where the hugest tech debt area lies outside of the risk of those systems simply not being functioning or being susceptible to cybercrime. And so the technologies and capabilities that interface with these systems are quite robust, and the ability to implement vendor-based artificial intelligence capabilities to interface with the transactions, the flag transactions, is something that's readily available in the marketplace.
Could I just have a quick follow-up comment?
One quick follow-up, then we'll go to Representative Elkins.
Thank you. So SSIS takes, you go to any county and the poor folks using that, it takes 70% of their time because you have green screen F keys and the wheel of death. It takes them forever to do it. So I think that seems to be a high priority, but there's not just SSIS. There's also 5 other programs that are as equally bad the counties have to use. They came in and did a presentation in another one of my committees. So I don't see this as a huge solution. Also, I would point out that the money recovered so 18 million out of 25 billion annually is 0.072%. That's how much money is recovered. I'm sure that more than that was going out fraudulently. So it's just, it's a drop in the bucket, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Elkins.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I think one of the points that Commissioner Tomes is making is that no matter how ancient your operational systems or modern there are, you still have to extract the data out of them and into an analytical data warehouse. And that work can be done semi-independently of the front end. You're going to structure the data in the analytical systems so that you can point analysis tools, point AI at them in any case. And that, I think that's the work that is going on right now, is improving the analytical capabilities for the data that you take out of these currently ancient, hopefully sometime in the not too distant future, modern operational systems.
Thank you. Thank you for your testimony. I think we'll move on at the moment to Commissioner of Department Administration, Commissioner Gronvall.
Just to let people know, I'm going to go to at 9:30. They're supposed to be, Booker is supposed to have a press
So
conference.
members, if you're confused, it's the last slide on your packet because the order of the testifiers on the list is different than the order of the packet slides. So,
because that's what I really want to. I guess I don't even got to look at this no more. Yeah, because they want him detained even more than what I guess he was allowed to maybe possibly go to a halfway house. And so he was messaging the prosecutor, the feds, whatever, said that he was wanted people to get out a laptop before the feds came and raided it, or I don't know, searched it. So, oh shit, I don't know. This shit's getting crazy. But even with like Jennifer Carhan, she's running. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna share this real quick. You know, and it's like, come on, man, we got to do something different. Why is it like the same old people doing the same old shit? It can't be nobody different. You know what I'm saying? Because this one crazy thing for me is like, I want people to remember that Minnesota Republican Party chairwoman, she's ex, right? She had to agree to resign amid mounting controversies over her alleged personal and professional conduct. Carhan's close relationship with Anton Lazaro, Minnesota's Jeffrey Epstein, a young GOP donor arrested on federal sex trafficking charges. And this is like, this should show people that if you got money, they're willing to play. I mean, let's be honest. And they're willing to even play with our kids. That's the super fucking crazy part. It's like, how do you play with people's children? You know, in my eyes, like people really need to, he's really going to get in, right. That's what I'm saying. And like, I don't understand it. And then this is the one crazy part for me, right? Is it's not just about Icorn, right? Not Justin, you know, because even with Jennifer, like, how are you gonna, even though you weren't convicted or you weren't charged, it's like, wait, there's a whole lawsuit against these hotels that you should really, really be worried about, lady. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, Booker, so it's wild. It's just a press conference for Bloomington Minnesota. But definitely isn't so much just about Jeffrey Eichhorn, but just to say about this operation they did in Bloomington, Minnesota, when it came to sex trafficking and a lot of it is just it's crazy because it happens all the time. He got his damn orange. I see it right there. He got his orange shirt. Let's see who it is. Oh, we got another police officer. But I just don't get it. It's like even with in my eyes, we got to get rid of that thin line between right and wrong, right? Because a lot of people are looking at it just because of politics that it's right. Well, just because they're a Democrat, they're right. No, it's not like that. Wrong is wrong. It doesn't matter who does it. It doesn't matter if it's because I will tell you like this. Why are you judging people? You're not God. You're not God. You're not a judge. You're not a juror. You're not here to, that's the one crazy part that I will never understand, right? And a lot of it, I don't care about people's opinions anymore. I don't care about, what you think about me, any of that, because I can find somebody that thinks totally opposite than what you're saying about me. And at the end of the day, you don't know me. So why should I care? So really, at the end of the day, everybody has an asshole. So everybody should have an opinion. Because we all have different life perspectives and we all have different stories. Some of us have taken money and some of us haven't. All right, Booker, he got fat. Thought he was going up to his press conference. Probably going to talk to all the media. But damn, it's like, we have to, in my eyes, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to be honest. If we're going to get anywhere kind of common ground, we have to talk about the past because those injustices were never answered. They left more questions because at the end of the day, you had police out here that were scaring citizens. You had gangs turning from gangs to nonprofits, violence interrupters. Like you literally, if you're going to, here you go, Booker. If you're going to solve the issue, you got to solve it all. You can't sit here and think that just because somebody changes a title, they're going to change.
Before too, we're going to play a couple videos. So those videos will be up on this screen. And then if you want them afterwards, we should be able to provide them to you. And then also there are 2 vehicles parked outside that I think you're going to want to take pictures of when we're done here.
Damn.
So with that, I'll get started. First off, I would like to thank our detectives for all their hard work. These operations are never easy, and they put in a lot of time. So the people who helped us out with the specific operation was Hennepin County Sheriff's Office, Airport Police Department, Eden Prairie Police Department, and Richfield Police Department, and the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension. And they all do a very good job at helping out with these operations. But before we get started, I'm going to talk about one case from one of our previous operations, and this will all tie into what I'm going to say today. So, Mr. Michael Gillis here.
This nigga look like
I said he was a sexual predator.
Ooh-wee.
So back in August, when we did our last operation, he said that he wanted to stick his tongue in the butt of a 15-year-old kid.
Oh, hell no.
We arrested him.
Wow.
Then he went to Florida in October and did the same
Get the fuck out
thing.
of here.
So I'm going to play this video up here, Grant, if you can get ready. He went to Polk County, Florida, where Sheriff Judd is the sheriff.
Damn, he went with Judd at.
Unfortunately for him that day, Chris Hansen
fuck out of here.
happened to be there. So Grant, you want to roll that video real quick?
Chris Hansen. Wow, not again. That's crazy. Wow.
He was arrested by the Bloomington, Minnesota Police Department for engaging in electronic communication
Wow.
sexual conduct
These people just do it in different areas. That's crazy.
of a child to commit a sexual offense. And now, here in Polk County, Michael is charged with 4 felonies and 2 misdemeanors.
Wow.
Lewd and lascivious conduct, misrepresentation of age after using a computer to solicit a minor, traveling to meet after using a computer, unlawful use of a two-way communication device, providing false information to law enforcement,
Chris Hansen, a motherfucker.
and resisting officer. We'll keep you posted.
Wow.
Cases against him.
So,
Take down Chris Hansen.
Mr. Gillis here, who I call the Predator,
Wow.
when he came to operation, he had brought his own vehicle
Damn.
to get the 15-year-old. When he went to Florida, he got smarter, and he caught an Uber there to drive him around, and then they caught him.
Oh, wow.
When the gunman shot his way into Sandy Hook Elementary School on December 14th,
Uber.
2012.
Get the fuck out of here. Why would you take an Uber?
Where on March 2nd, he took an Uber, had an Uber bring a 15-year-old child
Damn.
to his house,
Mm.
and then he sexually assaulted him.
Him?
Then he
No,
posted bail to
wait,
get out of
wait.
jail.
Wait.
At that point, I started to engage with our federal partners because, quite frankly, locally here, we got some things we got to work out.
Right.
We started to engage with our federal partners to make sure that, in certain instances, that we can start to send some of these cases federal.
So that's why
And
they
Mr.
did
Gillis's
just that.
case was a case that was being looked at, and obviously Friday they announced that he was going to get charged federally.
Damn.
I'm just going to come out and tell you right now, there's some other people in this operation that we're also turning over to look at to get prosecuted federally also.
Wow.
It's just one of these things where we
That's right,
cannot
Booker.
have people like the Predator, Mr. Gillis,
He said the
getting out of
Predator.
jail. I don't know how this guy gets out of jail.
Right.
As much time as his
Democrats. You go to
here.
Democrat-ran
And
cities.
He actually followed through and raped a 15-year-old boy.
Damn.
That should have never have occurred.
Oh, man.
All right, so the operation that I'm
man.
going to talk about today took place starting on March 12th. It's an operation where we were running, trying to get adults who were looking to have sexual activity with our kids, minors, whatever term you choose to use. During these operations, our goal is to, 1, catch some of these folks. 2 is to try to provide services to people who are being sex trafficked. And we use the term provide services, and we were told that the term rescue was not appropriate because some of them may not feel at the time that they're being rescued, but provide services. This operation, we were successful at providing services to 3 people. We also, one of the goals of the operation is also to try to get the traffickers identified and arrested. So the operation here, you can see how many of these folks got arrested. And the title of this operation I dubbed is I Can't Help Myself. So this is one of the 4 tops. It goes, I can't help myself. I know I'm terrible, right? My car karaoke is terrible. But I'm going to add another line to that. You're going to see why I say the title of this operation is I Can't Help Myself.
Damn.
So the first one I'm going to talk about here is Jorge. Jorge here, in his chat, he said, I don't know what you look like, nor do I know you are a minor. I'm scared.
Oh, Lord.
He should have followed his advice.
Right.
Then the decoy told him that she was 17 and didn't want him to be upset. He said, okay, give me the address, on my way.
Oh, wow.
Well, he couldn't help himself, or he wouldn't have showed up.
Right.
We locked him up too. He was also, we believe, taken into ICE custody.
Damn.
We don't know where he's at right now.
What?
Next one.
Damn, there's one.
Was Mr.
Know where they at.
Venkat. I think that's how you say his name.
So fuck.
And he also couldn't help himself. He was advised that the decoy was 17 years old, and he said, oh, seriously, I'm excited to see you then. Well, we were excited to see him too, and we locked him up He is here on a student visa, so I'm pretty sure at some
he
point
gonna be deported.
INS may be contacting him.
Damn, that's crazy.
Next,
2 in a
Mr.
row.
McClory, he also was asked, he said, wish, in his chat, he said, wish you would have said you were 18 after the decoy told him she was 17. He then requested another photo, and then after he got the photo, he said, and I'm not going to say the word, F it, here I come. He couldn't help himself either. He is a grocery store worker, and maybe he needs to learn how to stock some stuff up on these shelves as opposed to coming to my city trying to mess with some little girls. And almost forgot. Sorry.
Booker a motherfucker.
He wanted to give the little girl some cocaine, some crack.
Damn.
Where we do that at. Next, Vicente. Vicente also was said when the girl told him that she was 17, he said, I don't want you to be a minor. I could get in trouble. Well, he couldn't help himself either.
Damn.
A short time later, he arrived and we locked him up. And I think he may be dealing with some ICE officials.
God damn.
Next, Mohammed.
Damn.
Mohammed, when he was told several times that the decoy was 17 years old, he persisted to ask the decoy how she could make him climax. The only climax he got was coming to the Bloomington jail. We locked him up too. Next, here is Mr. Barclay, who is a on again, off again semi-pro soccer player. He went on to say he kept asking for some nasty sexual stuff that I'm not going to get into. But when he was told that the decoy was 17, he said, send me a photo and that's fine with me. And he said an extra $20 for an additional sex act that I'm not going to get into. And then he couldn't help himself. He decided to show up.
Damn.
I guess that's why he's semi-pro and not pro, because if you're pro, you should know not to come to Bloomington. Little girls. Next.
You would think so.
Adam, when he when he was told that the girl was 17, he said that might be a little too risky. Are you in Bloomington? Well, that should be a clue right there for you, man, that you don't want to come here and do this. He said he didn't see a girl on here that young before. He didn't want to be in a sting, and he questioned if this was seriously legit or not. Well, he couldn't help himself either. He showed up, and he's in excavation. Well, I wonder how he's gonna dig himself out of this hole.
Right.
My city messing with some.
Damn.
Next, Anthony.
Anthony. Sting. Oh my God.
Anthony.
Wow.
Well, he asked the decoy how old they were. He said 17. He said, oh my God. So a minor? Yes. And he said a teenager. Okay, should be a clue, Anthony. Anthony goes on to I can't say that. I can't say that either.
Wow.
He said he hopes it's true that she's not a cop, and he was so nervous. Well, he couldn't help himself either. And he came
This
over,
shit crazy.
we locked him up, and he's a concrete worker. Well, he's got some pretty hard shoes to get out of.
Right.
Now, after he came here, Alex. He was told that the girl was 17.
Yeah.
He decided that he was going to come too. He couldn't help himself, so when he showed up, we locked him up. He also had $2,600 in cash.
Damn.
And I think some ICE officials may be speaking.
Oh, wow.
Also.
Damn, it's like the fourth one with ICE.
Next.
God damn.
David.
Oh, damn it. They need to go. ICE need to go look at him.
I can't say that yet. So he had agreed to have sex with a 17-year-old girl. He proceeded to send a picture of himself with his pants off, standing in front of a mirror. And we need to pay our detectives extra money for that. But we locked him up too. He's grown. He should know better, and he's a landscaper. Next, Justin.
Shit. There's a representative, right?
About Justin.
Damn.
Here, so I'm not going to get into that too much. other than to say that, as everybody knows right now, he is under federal prosecution.
Right.
And I'm going to say one thing that Justin said that you might not know. The decoy had told him that they live with their aunt and that their aunt was gone till next week. And then Justin had asked if he could have sex in his car. Well, because he asked that, and he came here trying to have sex with a child, you will notice a nice white Toyota outside.
Damn, his car's there.
Police logo on it because we're forfeiting his vehicle administratively because he wanted to come here and commit a felony. Next,
damn,
Mr. Jefferson. He also
makes this shit even look
wanted
worse.
to come mess with a 17-year-old girl. He knew she was 17 and he came. So we also locked him up. So don't come to my city trying to mess with 17-year-old girls.
Right.
Next.
Yeah, there's some crazy ass shit, man. Some of these dudes is crazy.
Scott.
We live in real sick times, man.
Scott.
Right. Politicians, soccer players.
So Scott, the undercover said that she was 17 and she just wanted to be up front. And Scott said, I guess I could get in a lot of trouble. I appreciate you for telling me. I'm a little nervous, but also excited.
Oh my God.
As old as you are, man, you should know better. So he couldn't help himself. He showed up, so we locked him up too.
God damn.
Next. This guy's a piece of work. Marwin. So Marwin, when the decoy told him that they were 17, he said, I'm sorry, no can do. Thanks for being honest. And then he left the conversation. Well, he couldn't help himself.
Damn.
So 4 minutes later,
oh wow,
he re-engages. And then he decides that he's going to meet the decoy. So when he shows up, we get him in this parking lot. And Grant, I want you to show this picture here of the retaining wall. You see how big that retaining wall is? We'll get you a picture of that. So we get him in this parking lot. And Grant, you want to show the video here? He decides that, well, hold on, wait before you, yep.
What the hell?
So,
wow.
Grant, can we see that retaining wall picture again, man, please?
Wow. He done fucked up his car.
This is the wall that he drove off.
Damn.
Trying to get away. And he was listening to.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you
Damn.
something.
I don't care what he was listening to.
I wanna hold
Your hand. I don't care about none of that. How old was it? Nah, this shit crazy. You gotta, of course, the working man. Yes, I hate YouTube. All these ads.
We eventually get him into custody, and we lock. Don't stop. Grant, can you play that the video of him running? So we pursue him here. If you watch,
so he got off and still
how
running.
fast he's going. You know,
Crazy.
the cars on 494. He's passing them, and we're pursuing him. Here, we eventually get him into custody.
Wow.
And we lock him up. And if you notice outside, that same pickup truck is sitting outside with the Bloomington police badge on the side because we forfeited that.
Damn.
The other part of Puff Daddy.
Wow, 2 trucks.
Can't stop,
Nice ass
won't
trucks.
stop. And then I'm going to go into the, take that. Yep, these orange jumpsuit pants. Take that. Take that.
Wow.
Take that. And take these. We locked him up. And the thing about him is he's already a convicted sex offender.
Wow.
With a 15-year-old girl.
Damn.
So,
wow.
That concludes this. Again, I just want to say that we're still working with our federal partners on some of these cases because, quite frankly, just locally, we cannot have these people getting out of jail and continue to repeat these same crimes.
Wow.
So with that, I'll take any questions you may have. Well, I'll say like Gillis here. A lot of these people, unfortunately, a lot of these predators, they got people who help them.
Right. Thank you.
They got
Good
some
point,
people out there
Booker.
who help them. And I'm really not going to get into the rest of the federal investigation because they took it from us. But
Right.
it's the minute you understand, you have to quit. And I don't understand how someone helps these folks.
Right.
Yep. Yes. No, we intend to forfeit both of those cars out there. Intend to forfeit both of those cars out there. The Toyota out there, which was driven by Justin Eichhorn, and the GMC pickup that the other sex offender decided.
The other sex offender. Because the Mall of America, the resorts.
Well, Bloomington, we got 50 hotels, 10,000 hotel rooms, right? So we got more hotel rooms than anyone in the state. We have the airport here. But I also think it's for us in this 494 corridor, we're just not going to tolerate this, man.
See, I don't know why he don't get talking about the Mall of America, because that has a big ass part, and the resort.
And I mean, really, at the end of the day, it's about victims. So they be in distress. Right. If you see something that you think is suspicious, don't hesitate to report it. Right? And we all have to be vigilant in this. If that makes sense. Okay.
So Justin Eichhorn was caught this time because it was a decoy. But do you know if he actually has followed through with this type of stuff before?
I'm not sure. Like, we don't have that detail right now, and I think, in terms of once the federal government took it, they're gonna
they'll do it.
Phones. But the only time we caught him here was in Bloomington. But I will say that the language that he used is indicative of someone who
been doing it before.
This is not their first time.
Right.
Yeah, so let me address this.
That's
first.
a good question.
So we had no idea who he was.
Oh, okay.
Right. He
didn't even know Justin Eichhorn.
We couldn't tell who he was. As a matter of fact, there was a group of us who traveled to San Diego to go to the U.S. border on Tuesday, and one of the law enforcement sources asked me, "Do you know you got a state senator in your jail?" And I said, "No." And I called the jail. They didn't even know who Justin.
Damn,
was.
so they don't even.
So,
that's
I mean,
crazy.
They had no idea who he was.
They didn't even know they had a
And
state
one
senator.
of the things our detectives have really gotten good at now is a lot of times these folks would get booked and released, like charged and released from the scene. Now we start holding them overnight.
Probable cause.
So when someone starts looking for them, they can't go home and just say, "Oh, I got caught in traffic or something." But yeah, we had no idea who he was.
Shit, I think they'll have to get out of the line.
I don't look at it like someone's position. For me, it's always going to be about victims, right? And I don't think the victim cares what position you have in society. That's the way I look at it. And, we do these all the time, as you guys know, here in this city, but I don't give a crap what
kind of statute
occupation you have. If you come here and mess with kids, you're going to jail. But, this is really, this is unfortunate, right? Because I do believe most members of our legislature are good folks, and
that shit was wild.
Like this, it just tends to tarnish that a little bit.
Right.
Yeah. So when you forfeit vehicles, you can either sell them or you can put them in your fleet and use them, right? So I mean, that'd be a good truck to, you know,
Oh,
do
damn.
some more of these operations or to catch speeders. I don't know what we're gonna do with it yet, but that determination will be made later date. Yes, sir. There's only right now and this is why it took a little bit to get this together. Right now, the only person that we know of that is a repeat offender that we caught was the last guy.
Gillis?
Marwin. He was the only repeat offender that we know.
Okay. The hell you mean victimless? No, it's an imaginary teenager, but
Yeah, to not have someone get victimized is very important, right? I'll talk about, you know, again, I want people to be clear, right? If any of these guys, when they showed up,
right,
if
what could have
that
happened?
girl would have been 15, 16, 17, there's nothing that would have stopped them from doing what they said they wanted to do in text messages. And Mr. Gillis here is a prime example of that. So whenever we could do to not put people's victims at risk, we're going to do. But I'm not going to get in all to like how we go about catching some of these folks. But yeah, we're going to do what we need to do to mitigate people getting victimized. Yeah. So Gillis got caught up when we did this in August. And Gillis, the fact that he was able to get out of jail
so quick,
spurned us reaching out to our federal partners. Similar to like what Minneapolis has done with the gun violence piece, we're looking at engaging our federal partners on this piece because we can't have this. We can't. We can get that to you. I think most of them are Minnesota, Wisconsin. I don't have the individual list for each individual, but I think they're all Minnesota, Wisconsin. Yeah, I think our folks reach out, and then, you know, we do a pretty good job of talking to each other in law enforcement most times. It's not perfect, but most times.
No, Lord, they want to see icon. I don't like that it is focused on one person because it should be focused on them all. I get that he's a state senator, but I mean, honestly, like it's deeper than just him.
I'm going to let the federal folks talk about those. I think they're all out.
Wow, so they're pretty much all out. And that's crazy. But also I want to talk about a little bit about Minneapolis, right? I want to talk about Cody. And I want to talk about his murder trial and how Minneapolis police department kind of fucked up this investigation. So I want to get into that story a little bit. And people need to listen and be like, is history repeating itself because enough people don't understand it or they don't know it? Or was it too much silence going around?
Cody Cam, originally convicted of murdering North High School student Deshaun Hill, but then a judge tossed that guilty verdict out. And today we learn the retrial, originally set for April, might not happen until fall. Fox 9's Rob Olson was in that courtroom today. And Rob, it sounds like some raw emotion on display today by Hill's family.
Yeah, certainly. Deshaun Hill's family, his father actually, was pretty agitated outside the courtroom before this hearing began, to the point where he was not allowed in the courtroom and ultimately removed from the entire floor altogether. Afterwards, his family said, you know, this is just the overwhelming frustration being expressed here at the need for a new trial, but also now the frustration that delays are going to push this thing back for months now. Now, the delay is due to this video. That's Cody Forencam's interrogation by the Minneapolis police. It was key evidence used in his first trial a couple of years ago, but because there were questions post-verdict of whether this interrogation was done legally, that's why that verdict was tossed out. That's why the need for a second trial. Now, after the judge in this case ruled that video now cannot be used in the new trial, prosecutors are going back to the appeals court to ask them to allow it in. We should note there were not cameras in court today. The video from court you're seeing from his sentencing a couple of years ago. Now, because the appeals court hearing is not set yet and may not happen until the summer, the judge today said any new trial may not be scheduled until late summer or fall, so they can't even set a date yet until they get through that appeals process. Forencam was initially convicted 2 years ago in the murder of Deshaun Hill for shooting him after they brushed each other on a Minneapolis sidewalk. That was the conviction. He said it's not him. Now they'll have to prove it again. Surveillance video was also significant evidence in that trial. Forencam's attorneys have asked also today for bail to be reduced. It's currently at $1 million. The judge ruled, though, that Forencam poses too great a flight risk due to the initial conviction here and denied it. There's also an outstanding change of venue request by Forencam's defense team here. They say there was so much coverage of this case here in the Twin Cities initially. They want to move this case out of the Twin Cities because they don't feel they can find a fair jury here locally. That is still under consideration. Prosecutors today say they're still waiting for a ruling on that. Simone?
And Rob, quick question before you go. If Forencam's interrogation video ultimately can't be used, as you mentioned, how much does that actually weaken the prosecution's case at the retrial then?
Well, I asked Hill's family that afterwards, how they feel about that, and their feeling is that the other evidence in the case in the first trial was pretty strong in their view, so they feel that there still could be a conviction without this interrogation video. Obviously, they'd prefer it to be in,
right.
But they feel pretty good at this point that they could still get a conviction without it. Back to you.
Damn, that's crazy as hell because that baby needs justice. You know what I'm saying? It was, and people don't remember. Deshaun Hill was killed, murdered during a protest, a walkout, school walkout for Amir Locke. Honestly, I don't know what to say. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's crazy to me is because it seems like black people, when it comes to a certain community in Minneapolis, we never get justice. It's either because of our judicial system or it's because of the people that we have in our community, like community leaders. And that's what's crazy to me is because it's time to start calling this shit out. You know what I'm saying? Because I will tell you like this, if I want people to think about this, right? When you think about Minneapolis, especially North Minneapolis, if Eric Mumad at Best Harvest Academy was never allowed to be the director CEO, you would have never possibly heard about Abdul Wright. Not saying that wouldn't have happened, but it potentially would happen somewhere else where them safeguards weren't there in place, because we've seen at the same time that Abdul Wright was happening, there was VJ Smith. There was so many, and then it made you look, and that's the one crazy part for me is why, but that really didn't come out to last year though. So I really get the Abdul Wright shit. Because no, I don't, because that should have got bigger when he went to go get it, when the parents went to go get a restraining order on Abdul. That's when it should have really hit the news. That's when it should have hit the media. And we should have been more, instead of him going to another school district to be able to teach, no, we should have got a predator out of the schools. You know what I'm saying? It didn't matter what school district, because I will tell you like this. That it makes all these dudes' bills look weird now too. Even Jeffrey Eichhorn's, Justin, whatever the fuck his name is, makes it even look weird. And to me, it's the one question that I've been asked over and over again is what makes him different than Nicole Mitchell. And I said, honestly, it's the crime. He's not in my eyes, a criminal is a criminal. You know what I'm saying? Because I will tell you like this, if it would have been me in somebody's house dressed in all black with a flashlight covered, I wouldn't be out as a state senator talking about it. I wouldn't have been having conversations, because I will tell you like this. When they believed I spit on the police, I had a $20,000 bail to even touch the streets. To even touch the streets. So the fact that this lady is out, not even on no bail, making votes, making choices for us, and we don't even get no answers. Come on, people. Y'all got to be bigger than that, man. Y'all definitely got to. This the one thing of it is, right? And I'm going to keep on saying it. Bless up, bless up. It's like we have to be unified. We got to believe somewhere that there's still good people. You know, because I will tell you one thing is like going through, even before I was talking about Booker, right? I was reading about him because Jewel, when it came up in conversations, you know, a lot of people don't know is that L. Flowers and Booker sued. Or they were, no, let me take it back. They were, maybe, I don't know. Because it was a First Amendment right speech thing at the city of Minneapolis. And that's the whole reason why MTN had to go private. You know, they took that when they contracted with the city of Minneapolis. You can't just talk that way. So Don Samuels and another council member took them to court because they shouldn't be allowed to say whatever they wanted. But they ended up, I don't know if they actually won, because in my eyes, I feel like it was a loss because so much truth and transparency has been covered up. And it goes back years. And to be honest, nobody wants to talk about it. And it's like, why? And I understand it because I don't agree with everything in the past, right? But how can we get past it if we're still paying the price today? And what I mean by paying the price is you have innocent people out here that are behind bars and shouldn't be. But because Minneapolis and Minnesota was so political and so, that's the one crazy thing that nobody wants to talk about. The 80s and 90s. Because you had some of the biggest gang leaders in America in Minneapolis. The biggest. Big U, Crips from LA. You had Detroit, you had Chicago, you had New York. They was trying to take over you. This was literally what people don't understand is Minneapolis was a melting pot. A melting pot, right? Because you had Vice Lords, you had Gangster Disciples, you had Bloods, Crips, Mickey Cobras, CVL, UVL, rolling 60s, 90s. Then you had the 30s. Man, there was and those were Bloods. You know, then you had to look at some were Asian. And then as soon as America started to turn, right? I'm not going to say we started to, but we started to get maybe, all of a sudden there was Somalian Crips or Somalian GDs or, you've seen all the, like the Laos or the Koreans or the Nigerians, the Ethiopians. Everybody was starting to click up, get their own little cliques. That's why you see what you see now. But enough people don't understand that past to understand what's going on in the present because they don't look at that shit. They don't look at the things that, that's why I put up Ron Edwards, because I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I want an answer. Because I want, people like, oh, you just want to get paid. And no, it's not about paying nobody. Nobody. It's not about, here's the thing of it is, I don't do this for clout. I don't do this for fame. I don't care about the fact that, you know what I'm saying? People think they're a superstar. Or they're a leader. But where? Because I will tell you like this, back in the 80s and 90s, I will tell you like this, look at Minneapolis. Why have we gotten worse? Worse, not better, right? Hmong, right? There was all so much stuff, right? You had the Russians, the Hispanics, the Hmong. There was so much, and to be honest, you even had to throw the police in there. That's why I take that quote that Ron Edwards said is that you had cops protecting gangs by threatening citizens. And then we even have gangs do it. You know what I'm saying? That they couldn't. This is the one thing. You would believe that you know, the police trying to solve a murder, you know, or some robberies or whatever, and you have eyewitnesses, so you get some information, tell you who the shooters are and all that. Why are you going to give up the girl, the teenager, or the woman, the families, so gangs could go harass them, intimidate? That's why we don't get no justice, right? FBI, CIA. That's the whole. Nobody wants to have a conversation of why Paul Wellstone. Listen, look at it. And then you got to look at what was leading up to that. You got to look at what was leading up to that. Minneapolis has been controlled for a very long time, and we're still having these. Let's not act like the Abdul rights or these sexual stings are big news. Like we haven't had these before, because Minneapolis has had these plenty of times. We're just going through another phase. We're repeating history. We're repeating history, because the crazy thing of it is, anything that is coming out today, I can find going back in history in the past, and that hasn't been dealt with. And that's the reason why we're seeing these things today, is because when they were happening back then, people didn't care. They weren't getting involved, right? And now people want to get involved. No, I mean, to be honest, you kind of slow up the process. I'm going to be honest, because a lot of these people don't even believe this shit. Even though they can read it in black and white, they don't believe it. And it's like, wait, I was in Minneapolis, but were you in that life? If you were just a 9-to-5 ass square, went to church every Sunday, sit the fuck down somewhere and stop talking about this shit, because you have no place. Because there's a lot of things that people don't want to talk about that need to be talked about. A lot. And the crazy thing of it is, there's one community that's hurting. That's hurting. And everybody getting paid. Everybody getting paid, but community getting worse. It doesn't matter what thing you look at, doesn't matter if it's legislators, they only know one part of it. They don't know the whole part. And I want to go into this a little bit, right? Because it's a story of how the GDs and the vice lords in Minneapolis and old school. So you're going to hear, this is the spot again. I played them yesterday, but I want people to listen to this, right? And to gather what he's saying. So with that being said, I'm going to play this.
See, we used to have rotations every Friday at the City Incorporated on Bloomington and Lake. 150, 200 vice lords show up sometimes. And after these rotations, it was nothing for us to get about 30, 40 deep. You know what I mean? Especially the little roguish lords. I was a little roguish lord. What's a roguish lord? That's a little motherfucking troublemaker. You understand me? Because vice lords, we do have structure. You understand me? We're not considered a gang. Our older homies do not like us using the word gang. Our gang banging. You understand me? But you can't help but to do it as a youngin. You feel me? And so the little roguish lords are the little good for nothings that don't do nothing but all day running around pushing vice lords and picking on whoever's not a vice lord. You feel what I'm saying? Getting in trouble, doing everything that the older lords at that time didn't want us doing, because they was trying to make a way with this political thing. You feel what I'm saying? Grants and whatnot, bringing down the crime rate. And here us is rolling around the city, shooting it up, jumping everything that moves. You feel me? So, you know, after these rotations, a lot of the lords, a lot of the older lords, you know, they got automobiles, cars. They to the nightclubs. It's Friday. Some going back home. They got things to do. You feel what I'm saying? Not us little roguish lords. Feel me? We like to get like 30, 40 deep. Don't let somebody know where a party is. because that's where we're all going. Busing it or walking it. We getting there. And like I said, it'll probably be about 30, 40 of us with 2 pistols out of all them. You know what I'm saying? Nothing major. Maybe like a 9 and a 38. Might be even like a 32 and a 25. You feel what I'm saying? And we'll march from Bloomington and Lake headed towards Uptown. You feel me? And now, for anybody that is from Minneapolis, Minnesota, especially the South Side, during the late 80s, early 90s, they will know and bear witness that headed up that area from Chicago and Lake going towards where Kmart and White Castles used to be was all GDs. You feel what I'm saying? And us as roguish lords used to like to march until we got just on the cusp of the GD turf. And that's right on 3rd, 2nd, right there by McDonald's where the bridge is. You crossed up under that bridge. You feel what I'm saying? And it was GD land.
Right.
You feel me? So we march up there and everything we usually see, we smash it. And if it very rarely gets to where we meeting up with a group that's 30, 40 deep as well.
Right.
Unless we go into a concert. On these particular nights, we might see a patch of GD 6 deep. We might even see 20 of them. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
In between that bridge and Chicago and Lake.
Damn.
But once you cross up under that bridge,
I remember that
you're
right there.
guaranteed to see
Bunch of niggas was shooting.
30, 40, 50 GDs.
Right.
Just mobbing. You understand me? I don't know. I think maybe they held functions over there behind White Castles. You know what I mean? A long time ago. I know Mama G used to live back behind there. But anyways, this particular night, well, us roguish lords is mobbing. We get up by McDonald's, and I remember a lord pulled up, and he had some nigga in his car, and one of the
Alley's was a dangerous game, boy.
Recognized him from some
dangerous
place
game.
and said he just had seen him a week ago hitting up the Forks. You feel what I'm saying? So that lords is surrounded the car by now. You know what I'm saying? As soon as they call wind like some piranhas. And so we're on it. Lord's trying to look in the car. You know, dude's stuck now.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? And Lord's got his door open trying to get up out the car. You know what I'm saying? And he won't get up out the car. So one of the Lord's sock him. Bam. And he grabs the steering wheel. And the Lord that's driving, whose car it is, he like, nah, not in my car. Not in my car. Don't get him in my car. But dude won't let go. So now Lord's is hitting him, kicking him. They got his feet, pulling him. His pants come down. They trying to pull him up out. The Lord in the car hitting his fingers now. You know what I'm saying? Trying to peel his fingers off the steering wheel. And, you know, they getting in for false flagging. A lot of times you'll see motherfuckers that do that. They think they can ride both sides of the fence.
Right.
They might hang over north. And over north, they might be GD. Over south, the cats they hang with might be lords. I mean, the city is big. You know, it's not super small, but there's a lot of lords and there's a lot of GDs.
Right.
You might, as a lord, not know all the vice lords. You're guaranteed not to know every vice lord in the city. Vice versa.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So this cat get caught false flagging, you know, pulling him up out of there. You got like 20 cats. It'd really be like 5 cats at first because only so many cats can get a dude.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you pack him out, and then as them 5 cats get tired, you still got another couple waves. You feel what I'm saying? And I remember we smashed this dude out and then like stopped for good 5 minutes and still hung around because these, like I'm saying, man, this is back in the days. You youngins don't know what type of atmosphere it was back then. Like, wasn't no cops pulling up like they do now. Wasn't no cameras.
Nope.
with no cell phones.
Right.
So we smashed this dude out and sat and kicked it in the McDonald's parking lot, smoking weed and drinking, waiting for other lords to possibly pull up our other, you know what I'm saying, some GDs. And this dude done sat there comatose, woke up, tried to hobble away, and somebody noticed him, and we got on him again.
Damn.
Somebody must have hit him and gave him some, like, knocked him back, some sense back into him because he took flight, ran up into the train tracks, you know what I'm saying? Up under the bridge, up in the train track, wasn't nobody gonna chase him up. It's all dark as shit.
Right.
We on it.
Right.
You feeling me? So, yeah, we do shit like that. And every now and then we'll cross up under that bridge. But the crazy thing is there was a bar, look like a little bar / club called Jersey's.
Oh, right.
And all the lords and the GDs, all the tops, you know what I'm saying? The chiefs and the govs, they used to be up in there. You know what I'm saying? Kicking it. Trying to holler at the same bitches. All us little roguish ass motherfuckers is out there gangbanging. You feel me? Sometimes we got caught slipping over there too. I remember one time, two of the sisters, Yolanda and Franrica, man, me and Ambe, one of my lords, Ambe, they told us, like, you know what I'm saying, go with these sisters. We was over there on Park, over by PP Park, over there, getting our money and shit. Everybody was getting their money. A lot of lords had that spot over there. The House of Pain, big ass apartment complex. Motherfuckers was getting their cheddar. They had a couple apartments over there. But anyways, Yo-Yo and Franrica had to do something. But it was way over there by GD Hood. You know what I'm saying? And so a couple of the older lords, hey, go with these sisters. You know what I'm saying? So we jump on the bus and we get over there. And we in front of, what's that? What is it? You got Jersey's and Champs. We in front of Champs.
Right.
Coming back. Then we went to some house so Yo-Yo could get some money or something. And so now we sitting on.
I'm gonna stop right there, but I'm gonna continue going back into history. You know what I'm saying? Because that does feel mad, and I would play the whole thing, right? But I want to talk about something else because this does affect a lot, right? And I think people need to look at this because there is a push from Trump's administration is to give felons the rights to guns, right? And now what's a lot of people that are against it are saying, some people are like, hey, we deserve our rights. And some others are saying it's a risk. In my eyes, I don't feel like anybody should be judged or looked at differently because they have a felony. Their gun rights shouldn't be taken away. You know what I'm saying? Depending on what the crime is. You know what I'm saying? Because how can you protect your family? You have so many people breaking into, houses and you're seeing carjackings, you're seeing all this. And how do you protect your family if you're a felon? Because most people out here carry and have a felony. So again, and they take that risk. So I want to talk about how Trump's administration aims to restore felon gun rights.
Is considering a way for convicted felons to restore their access to legally owning a firearm. Queen City News anchor Alicia Barnes and Chief Legal Analyst Crossroads takes us through those arguments.
The Justice Department is releasing plans to create a process for those with criminal convictions to restore their gun rights. So this decision sparking alarm that it will return firearms to those of convicted violent crimes. The interim rule follows an executive order from President Donald Trump last month directing a review of the country's gun restrictions to assess any ongoing infringements. Let's bring in our Chief Legal Analyst Crossroads to this conversation. Lots to discuss here because restoring gun rights to those who have been convicted of violent crimes, laying out the argument here for us, it says that a lot of people are concerned. Why?
Well, I mean, there's arguments for both sides
sides in this situation. You have on the one side folks that are saying that the government should not be infringing on folks' constitutional rights to bear arms, and on the other side, you have folks that are saying there needs to be some common sense legislation and regulations, specifically rulemaking process that actually limits folks that can have guns. In this situation, you're talking about people convicted of felonies, but in all other instances, you're talking about folks that are domestic violence, people that have prior drug use. That was the Hunter Biden situation when attempting to get a firearm. And so a number of things are put in place by the ATF to ensure that folks that check one of those boxes, either a violent crime, either a domestic violence, or someone that is on drugs or had drug use issues in the past, don't have guns fall into their hands. And so that's why these regulations have been put in place. I should say these rules have been put in place to try to deter and stop folks from having guns in their hands. On the other side, folks are saying, look, in any type of regulation that stops folks from getting access to guns is a bad idea. And right now, that fight has been going on for a long time, and this is the president saying, I want to get an examination of that in February, and today this rule, interim rule, is something that the ATF is saying as they'll go forward will be the new rule.
So the DOJ now, under this proposal, they were very specific about who this would benefit. Explain that a little bit.
I mean, you're talking about folks with violent crimes. I mean, this is it's as specific as you can get. At the end of the day, these are folks that typically, if you were convicted of a crime, you would have been barred from having access to a firearm. And now they're saying, no, you will not be barred from having access to a firearm. And so that's why I say I have mixed feelings about this, specifically as someone that defends people that are charged with these types of crimes. Once you've committed the crime, you've been sentenced, you've done your time, you've paid your restitution, you've been on probation, you've been on some type of post relief. This additional infringement to say, look, now you still can't vote or you can't own a firearm is an additional hurdle for you to be reintegrated into society. And so I do understand and appreciate how folks are saying, well, listen, this person is done. They've served their sentence. Restore them fully to being an American citizen. But on the other hand, I can see that there is a secondary effect of someone that has committed a crime in the past. The likelihood is now higher that they may commit a crime, specifically if the original crime was a violent crime. So I can understand and appreciate both arguments.
So also to be able to point out here, they said that no constitutional right is limitless, and they would now be screening out others. Specifically, what does that language mean? Is it kind of like what along the lines of what you just said about who should be able to have their rights?
It is. I mean, and that's what the argument is. What talking about it's not limitless. Most of these gun rights advocates are saying that the president is attempting to do this unilaterally. While I think he is using his executive powers to do a number of things unilaterally, I think in this situation, this is how the administrations and agencies are supposed to work. ATF is there to formulate and promulgate rules. There should be and needs to be a rulemaking process where you have an opportunity for public citizens to comment on the proposed rulemaking change. And that process is the part that should be happening now. Here's this interim rule. These are the changes that we're thinking about making, and let us know how you feel about that. That's the problem that folks will say. If you're not having that rule-making policy discussion with everyday citizens, now you're overreaching your ability. But outside of that, I think this process is exactly how our agencies are set up. And if you rewind it months ago, the same folks that are now in power were saying the ATF doesn't have the ability to do these types of things. But now they are making the ATF do the things that they want to see done.
Crossroads, we appreciate your insight. Thanks so much.
I'm kind of glad that, Trump is doing all that. And because to be honest, we shouldn't have our gun rights taken away. We paid our debt to society. We paid our wrongs. I don't understand it, because you have people out here that tote guns but never have paid for their sins. So how can you tell somebody that has paid for their sins that they can't have a gun, but a person that has not paid and no accountability, no responsibility can still be a gun owner? That's what I won't understand. And, on Twitter this morning, I seen this, I shared it. And for me, he pointed something out to me, and I didn't know anything about the Lautenberg Amendment, because it's about a lack of awareness. Despite its significance, the Lautenberg Amendment isn't as widely known as other gun control measures. like background checks or assault weapon bans. People discussing gun laws might focus on more prominent or recent legislation, overlooking this decades-old provision. And to be honest, they really should. You know what I'm saying? Because we do have a lack of awareness. We do have a lack of, our surroundings, what's around us. With, so why not? That's one thing that I will never understand. It's even like we're looking at Minneapolis or looking at Minnesota as a whole. It's any situation that's going on. It's been there. Are we going to keep on putting out the brush fires before it leads into a chaos? Because the whole thing about it, talking about unrest and all this was talked about, was discussed. Here's the one thing of it. If you read Ron Edwards, especially his blogs, his writings, you would see that he was predicting this shit. They need unrest. They need this. They need that. And like, damn, it was matching up. But I don't know what happened in Minneapolis for the life of me, because that should have been it, right? But I honestly think what's coming is going to be enough. It's going to be enough because that only affected Black people, right? George Floyd only affected Black people. But you know what immigration affects? Supposedly, allegedly, everybody. So that's how you fearmonger and unite people, is you think that it's the same thing with why you're seeing all this shit at Tesla. All over, you don't hear shit about Turkey. What's going on? I can watch a TikTok all day over in Turkey and seeing what the hell is going on over there. Let me see if I can pull them up real quick. Because it's crazy as hell. It's like, damn, why ain't this talked about in the news? Because you don't hear nothing about that. Because at the end of the day, that's Black people against Black people in their eyes. To confirm. How do I search? Let's see if I can see it. Sorry. Let's see if anybody's live. But yeah, even with this going on in Turkey, and you don't hear no news playing that shit. You see this shit going on in a whole other country. They do this to their citizens. Thousand people arrested, detained. The revolution will be televised. They need that shit televised. They only streaming it. That's why everybody ain't paying attention. Damn. There's a lot of people.
Yarın geleceğiz, seçeceğiz, tarihe geçeceğiz. Yarın biz kimin gideceğini biliyoruz. Onu gönderecek ismi.
I don't know what the hell he's saying. But yeah, there's so much going on in the country. I shouldn't say the country, but the world, that people should be paying attention. You should be paying attention to what's going on with your surroundings, because even though it's in another country, doesn't mean that it's going to affect you. It's going to affect you somehow in some way. The same thing with this legislation. Some parents have told me that, there's a certain legislation that Republicans have made it harder to parent. And I understand it. And then when you look at it, you're like, damn, actually, no student left behind made it easier to pass dummies. Make it easier to be okay with dummies. So with that being said, man, I'm going to get up out of here. I'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. With that being said, winter fell, freedom or jail, heaven or hell, wish me well. And here is Don Tripp, Ignorance is Bliss. See y'all tomorrow.
Ignorance is bliss, nigga. Ignorance is bliss. No days off until we wealthy. Sorry, I'm so self-centered, it seems selfish. I'ma go and help myself before I'm helpless. Cause can't nobody rescue me. Escaping all my demons, now I feel just like a refugee. At war with myself, you know what bothers me. The fact that even if I win, I lose a part of me. Before I lay me down and sleep, my soul is not negotiable. All I know is C notes. I could be a vocal coach. Pip, you rip my heart away. How the fuck I'm supposed to cope? How the fuck I'm supposed to keep my head up down this lonely road? I didn't cry when my dad died, my anger wouldn't let me shed a single tear for a stranger. Not now, not ever in life. You never supposed to say never, but I just said it twice. Am I supposed to take my cake to feed my mama's face? If so, what do I take to make my daughter's plate? How I'm supposed to ensure my kids' futures are bright? If I gotta pay my mama back for giving me life. I mean, even if I could, she couldn't give me no price. I'm giving mama all I had and it still doesn't suffice.